Can I ask who Chandler is?
I am Chandler Goodwin. I'm the city manager from Cedar Hills. I am attending in lieu of Denise Anderson, our mayor.
We suspected it was you, but it doesn't have your last name listed, so.
I try to keep a low profile.
She's Utopia board, so I don't know if that matters.
Yeah, you don't get to vote today, Chandler, but we love having you on the call.
No, I'm aware of that. She just asked me to be in attendance while she was in Lake Powell.
Yeah, we love having you on.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to be muted and just in the background.
That is live. Oh, well, it's not showing on the page
We good to go?
We're just waiting for the live stream
Yeah,
to.
it's streaming. We're just going to confirm it's going.
yet. I was just making sure it showed up on page.
We'll just ask if her wants to Zoom link.
I believe.
Okay, is the live stream going? Derek, we should be good to go. The live stream is up and we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you for everybody in attendance. I don't know that we necessarily need to do introductions. Is everybody comfortable with who we all are? I think I know everybody here, so seeing a lot of nodding heads. So I think we'll just move right into the approval of the minutes for the April 8th meeting. If anyone's had a chance or everyone's had a chance to review those and to entertain a motion on those April 8th minutes.
This is Dan Johnson. I'll move to approve those minutes.
I'll second it.
Thanks, Dan and Brenda. Any further discussion on the minutes? If not, we don't need to do a roll call on this one, right, Krista?
Right.
All in favor, just please say aye.
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 Is there anyone opposed? Okay, thank you. And Roger, correct me if I'm wrong, we do not need to do items 3 and 4 with the amendment to the prior or the current year budget. We're just skipping to number 5, correct?
I know 4 we're skipping for sure. 3 is
That's just the public hearing for it.
Yeah, I guess that's
So
fine.
5
right?
is the public hearing. Open the public hearing.
Jason, for item 3,
Not that we don't need.
we don't need.
For them in this, right?
Okay,
don't
But we have a public.
so 3 and 4 we can skip. We're not doing those, but 5 we do need to do.
Okay, so we need to do a public hearing for the fiscal year 2025 budget with a proposed fee increase for an internet services provider. Jason, if you want to introduce the item, and then we'll have a motion on opening the public hearing.
Okay, can you give me access to share my screen?
Done.
Okay, thank you. Here is a summary of the UIA budget. Let's see here if I can get it full screen. There we go. So today I'm happy to present to you the UIA draft of the 2025 executive budget. Just basically, I haven't made any changes from what was originally sent out for the tentative budget. If we look at what we have here, the proposed fiscal year 23 budget the proposed fiscal year 25 budget shows estimated revenues of $48.8 million. This is an increase of 8.5 million over budgeted 2024 revenues. This is based on average net new connections of 350 per month and continuation of business sales growth, including UETN. We are projecting less business sales than the prior year due to less funding available for businesses outside of the Utopia and partner city footprints. We also see significant growth in other revenue that is needed to budget for a decrease of negative fund balance. The residential transport revenue includes a rate increase of $4 per month on our most popular products, which are our 250 megabyte and 1 gigabyte products. This increase will be necessary to cover costs incurred due to inflation over past years, and we're currently seeking a bond rating from another rating agency. If we receive this bond rating, we could release debt service reserve funds that we now currently have sitting in escrow. If these debt service reserve funds are released, it's possible we will not need to bond during the fiscal year 2025 budget year, and the rate increase may not be necessary, but as of right now, we think it's more likely than not that it will be necessary. If another bond rating agency will not rate our debt, we will require the rate increase to get a bond rating from our agency. The proposed rate increase accounts for about $1.8 million of the increase. The proposed fiscal year 2025 UIA operating expenses exceed 2024 budgeted or projected expenses by about 7.4 million. Approximately 1 million of this is related to fees paid to Utopia, and that's just because we have growth, and based on the number of customers for each customer we pay, there's more of a payment that goes to Utopia. The largest increase is related to debt service, net of capitalized interest, which increases $4 million over fiscal year 2024. This is the second year of 3 consecutive years that we will see debt service payments increase by $4 million. The amount distributed to Utopia for city debt repayments also increased by 2.2 million. That's not the amount that the payment to the cities has increased in the budget, but that's the amount that's coming from UIA as opposed to coming from Utopia. If you look at network expansion, we have budgeted for a smaller bond issuance in fiscal year 2025, as we discussed previously. We are not anticipating a bond issuance in fiscal year 2026. We are budgeting for 16.6 million of network expansion, with 10 million coming from new bond funds, 2 million coming from existing West Haven bond funds, and the remaining coming from operating revenue. And the last slide that I show here, we sent out the distribution checks last week to the cities for $4.3 million. And that's to help repay the amounts that were paid through sales tax budgets on the bonds. And this is in Utopia. And then next year, we're projecting about 4.6 million. And that's all I had. You guys have any questions?
So Jason, when was the last time we raised rates, if ever?
We know it goes back longer than 10 or 12 years. I think
Okay.
Longer than 10 years, I feel comfortable saying. Roger, do you remember the last rate increase that we had?
So we've never taken a product and raised the rate for that product. We've always kind of discontinued lower products and brought higher products down into those tiers. And effectively, the average revenue has gone up over time as we discontinued and introduced new products, but we've never taken one with no changes other than to raise the rate. So this is a different thing we haven't done. We did just recently lower the cost of 10 gig and introduced a new 2.5 gig tier. So there's been some of that still happening. But this kind of need with needing to debt finance installations, keep up with inflation, other things, it's like we aren't quite there without doing a little bit of a rate increase. So directionally, you kind of hate to do it, but we're trying to keep it minimal And like Jason said, there's a possibility we may not have to do it, but we've got to plan on doing it for now until we see where we're at in a couple months.
Are there any other questions for Jason or Roger on the budget from the board? If not, I'd entertain a motion to open the public hearing for the fiscal year 25 budget.
I
Motion
move,
to open a public hearing. This is Jason.
Okay, we have a motion by Jason. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilmember Moore. Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
There's Bran. Welcome, Bran. Okay, the public hearing is now open for the fiscal year 25 budget. It includes the proposed fee increase.
We did have some service providers get credentials for joining the Zoom. I don't see Dave Burr on.
He wrote and said he was watching via YouTube because on both, so he's watching. I don't know if we're looking at the comments on YouTube.
We should, just in case. It's not really a official way to participate, but we're open to comment. I mean, so might as well look. Are you able to look at that? Yeah.
I didn't receive any email questions or anything for the public hearing, so nobody sent me anything.
And we haven't had anyone physically come in. I guess we'll just extend it. Is anyone participating online via YouTube or Zoom?
Chat at all.
Comment?
Okay, well, looks like we're not going to receive any public comments. I'd look for a motion to close the public hearing.
We have a note from YouTube. Mike Williams is in favor.
Brant, I seen your lips move, but I couldn't hear you. Okay. Does anybody else want to make a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion in a second.
I'll second that.
Well, I guess we'll give that one to Dan. I saw his lips moving first. There's somebody else was talking, but all in favor to close the public hearings, please say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The public hearing is now closed. So number 6, I assume, unless Jason, you have anything else to say on the budget, we'd look for a motion to approve resolution 2404 on the fiscal year 25 budget, including the proposed fee increase. Anybody would like to make that motion? You have the floor.
May I ask a question?
Go ahead, Bran.
This is Brett Bybee. I didn't hear did any of the service providers submit any comments or questions or concerns about the rate increases?
Yeah, I didn't have any specifically for the meeting, but when we sent out just kind of the notice of this, there was just some kind of email responses of, you know, we obviously don't like this, but we understand it. You know, I think they're all under, you know, the same pressures. This increase isn't an increase to the end user, it's an increase to the service providers. And so for them, you know, they can pass this through, they could absorb it, they could even raise their rates even more than what this increase is. So they have the flexibility to kind of do with this what they want. But obviously that us raising our wholesale rate to them impacts their profitability and how they approach the pricing in the competitive market. The good news is that we have seen take rates increase everywhere across the board. So demand is higher now at our current price point than we've ever seen. And we don't think a $4 increase will make a noticeable impact to our competitiveness. We certainly don't want to push the limits of that. But that was kind of the feedback of just, this hurts a little bit, but isn't so dramatic. I think a $10 or $15 increase would have received a different response. But we had providers come back, say, yeah, we're good, no problem. And others that just kind of felt like, they don't like it, but understand it. I don't know if we need, right. If it was like
Roger,
meeting, I'd share that, but these were just kind of email feedbacks that we got here and there.
and hopefully that means then as they interact with the retail customer, they're not completely putting the whole problem or concern on the back of Utopia as the wholesaler.
I think it'd be fair of them to say that Utopia's raised their rate and therefore they're raising their rate. I don't want them to throw us under the bus unfairly, but to disclose, a change in our fee structure to their end user, I think is probably fair. They generally haven't done that. They generally just kind of pass through our costs and sell them a retail price. So even today, I don't think any of the providers even disclose what their wholesale rate to Utopia is. They could if they chose to, but it's not something that they do.
Thanks.
Thanks for your questions, Bren. Good questions. Do we have any other questions from the board? If not, we'd entertain a motion to approve the resolution 2404.
All right.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 24-04.
Okay, we got a motion by Dan. Thanks, Dan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Brandon. We got a second. There's a roll call vote. Krista, if you want to take those for me, go ahead, please.
Zach Bloxham,
Yes.
Nate Rockwood,
Yes.
Brenda Moore,
Yes.
Dan Johnson,
Yes.
Bren Bybee,
Yes.
Brent Hansen.
Yes, if you can hear me.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
And Jason Sand,
Yes.
and Derek Euler.
I'm a yes. Thank you, Krista, and thank you, board. Anything else? Any board members with any questions? Anything else, Roger, we need to bring up?
This is Bren Bybee. If I can also just express appreciation for the portion of the budget that gets some funds back to member cities so we can start to see some of that ROI and see it building year after year. I appreciate that remains a high priority during the budget process. So thank you.
Yep, I agree. Roger, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to say that a lot of times in our board meetings, we'll go into a lot more detail about our subscriber reports and things like that. We provided that information in the packet, but being an evening meeting with the public hearing, we just kept the agenda basic. So if anybody's just wanting that updated information, just refer to your packets. And if you have any questions for us, feel free to reach out.
Okay, what are we going to do for the next 40 minutes till the other meeting starts?
Dinner.
Go get dinner.
Okay. Okay, if there's nothing else from the board, I'd entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved. Brian.
Okay, thanks, Brenda. Second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Brenda. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I actually enjoyed the night meetings. Maybe we should move the start time to 9:30. I'd never be late, Roger, for our other ones. Okay, thank you, everybody. It's good to see you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.